welcome back to my channel, and if you are new, welcome. My name is Meg, and today we're doing a chit chat get ready with me New Year's Eve style makeup tutorial. I am also cutting in at the beginning of the video because I didn't really, advertise this super well when I should have before we get started. But this is going to be like a pretty simple glam. It's going to be pretty tame. For me, this is a tame back glam look. This is more of like an everyday glam. So if you're not into doing like a cut crease and all this glitter and all this other extraness that is normally entailed in a New Year's Eve look, this is definitely the video for you. I wanted to upload this on actual New Year's Eve, so if you're getting ready for the night, we can get ready together. I am going to be doing the eye part first, so that is going to be a little bit more on the tutorial-y side, and then doing the rest of my face will probably be more of the chit-chat side. But before we get into the tutorial and get this video started, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on my future content. Check the description bar down below for links to my other social media and my other YouTube channel. And to get started, I did do some prep work because I like to have these primers have a few minutes to sink into my skin, so that is why I did it off camera. I use a Smashbox Photo Finish Pore Minimizing Primer. I don't necessarily love this. I have it, so I'm using it, but I don't think it does much to really fill my pores in. But I do really like their Radiance Primer. It just gives a nice glow to the skin. I have very dry skin, so I feel like this leaves my skin with a little bit of a, radiance. And I feel like it just gives me a really smooth base for products that I want to put on top. I also always start off, here I am like a minute into the video dropping stuff already. I also always start off by putting NYX Jumbo Pencil in Milk in my waterline. I do not like putting dark liner in my waterline. I like my eyes to look big and open. What I'm also going to do off camera, I should have done it before I even started, was outline my brows. And Luna has officially joined us to say hello, and she wishes you a Happy New Year's. I really like using the Brow Wiz by Anastasia, and when I say outline my brows, I mean that because I don't have a lot to work with, so the worst thing that you can do is get your entire face on, save your brows for last, and not get them right. So I'd rather, mess around and get the shape that I want before I have makeup on, and I don't fill them in because I can't be bothered to be so precise applying my makeup that I avoid my brow area. So it's just easier for me to outline them. There is an art for me outlining my brows because this brow is microbladed higher than this one, so it's a little bit of progress and work to try to get them as even as possible so my brows aren't as lopsided. I did get my brows microbladed almost 2 years ago, and it's pretty much almost completely gone. I mean, it's faded quite a lot, as you could tell, but not quite enough that my brows are, they're still looking a little uneven. So really, this is all that I mean and all that I really do when I say that I'm outlining my brows, and why you see me looking the way I do 90% of the time when I start my videos. Okay, so that is going to be about it until we get the rest of the face on. Now, something else that I'm going to do, because I really want it to soak into my skin before I get started with my face. Oops. Face. Oops. Still have the primer on my hands, so maybe that's why I can't hold on to anything. But I'm just going to go ahead and use my MAC Strobe Cream in the shade Silver and do a thin layer because, again, dry skin problems. I also really like the Becca, like their liquid illuminator. However, it doesn't marry well with the foundation that I'm using, so I've just really been using this up. I just take the smallest amount. The application for this is quite messy, so normally when I shake it up, there's product that's actually sitting in the cap, so I have to, store your product like this because, yeah, it tends to get everywhere. And, like any good get ready with me video, it is real. I'm wearing my pajama top shirt with some toothpaste on it, so keeping it real over here on Makeup by MegB. For my base, I'm just using my Tarte Shape Tape, and I'm going to do a light carving of my brows. So I'm just using this e.l.f. eyeliner brush. I think that e.l.f. is a great place to start if you need to add to your collection, but you don't have a lot of money. I haven't purchased from them in a few years, but I know back in the day, anything that was like a white brush like this was only $1. And then their Elite line, which was the black handled brushes, were only $3. So I highly recommend. And then I just drag down the concealer. I've never been one to carve out my brows, but now that I started, I can't stop. And then I'm just going to go ahead and take some more concealer to get down as a base. Blend it out with my little mini sponge. These are Real Techniques mini sponges. Also a great affordable option. I also make sure to blend this out to the bridge of my nose, and then I'm going to set it with a little bit of translucent powder. By the way, I use the RCMA powder, but because this packaging is so messy, I literally have it like duct tape shut. This is an old e.l.f. powder. I did like the e.l.f. powder a lot, but this is just like a really good package to hold on to because I can just dump my loose powder in here. Who went out and saw Aquaman because I really liked it. My husband was telling me that it got really bad reviews, and I'm not exactly sure why. So if you saw it, I would love to hear what you thought of the movie in the comments down below. And what do you guys think about the DC franchise? I personally prefer the Marvel franchise, but I heard that Ben Affleck and Harvey, what's-his-face, that plays Superman, decided to quit, and so that they wouldn't be reprising their roles. So what do you guys think about that? I personally feel like Batman hasn't been good since Christian Bale Batman era. But then again, that was quite the improvement from the Batman in my childhood, which was the really cheesy, hokey Batmans from the 1990s. So let me know your thoughts on that. I'm using two different eyeshadow palettes today, but the second palette I'm literally just using for this matte cream. So any kind of matte cream, a bone white, any kind of white eyeshadow, something for the brow bone. You could probably do this with one brush. I'm going to be using 4 brushes for my upper lash line today. This silver one is Real Techniques 203. I love it. And the rest of these are Morphe M433s. I think they're the perfect blending brush. And I'm also probably going to use this tapered Soho brush right here. So that's 5 brushes. I'm going into my Friendcation palette by Dose of Colors. I'm starting off with this lighter color right here, which I believe is called Basic. I've been switching up my eyeshadow technique lately, and I've really been enjoying it. So I'm just loading my brush up, and I'm going to kind of tilt my head down and look into my mirror this way. And then I'm just going to imagine a straight line from where I want this buffed out. And I'm holding my brush almost flat against my skin to deposit the color. Because this is a lighter color, I kind of have to go in with a few layers to build it up. And then whatever is left, I'm going to work on blending into my inner corner. I absolutely love the formulation in this palette. I haven't really tried a lot other products by Dose, but I really like this and their mauve palette. I think that the matte formula that they have is really great. It's super easy. It may sound like a lot, but I can get this entire face, eye look, everything in about 35 minutes, which may be a lot to some people, but to me, like, that's really, really short. When I'm sitting down to do my makeup is like my therapy to me in a way. It's very relaxing. I like to take my time with it. I like to just sit down and play and not be rushed. So when I'm sitting down to do an eyeshadow look, I like to give myself at least an hour and a half of time blocked off to get it done. But then again, that's just because I like to be really creative with my eyeshadow. I like to go in with bright colors, which are, you know, a little bit more difficult to work with. I like to do cut creases, all that fun stuff that just takes extra time. So the fact that I found this and I love it, and it only takes me about 35 to 40 minutes to do, is pretty amazing for me. I'm switching over to my Morphe brush, and I'm going to take the color Necessary. So it's a little bit darker. And again, I'm just going to load my brush up and do the similar thing, but this I started up here, so I'm going to bring it down a little bit lower. And it's fine to get this on the outer edge of our eye. You just don't really want to get it all the way on the inner corner. And if you have difficulty getting the inner corner of your crease, try looking the opposite direction and you can slide your brush in there easier. And it's a-okay to get some shadow on the inner lid, but I'm not doing a cut crease in this tutorial, so you know, try to keep it pretty clean. And then now what I'm going to do is take a little bit of product and just flick my brush upward to connect to that line. So it's going to be like a very like swooped and winged look. Much like that, and I do want it to be a little bit faded as I go out. I want the most color to be right here and just have the wing fade out. And it's as simple as that. Like I said, this formulation is amazing. You have to put like little to no effort into blending, which is just... I also love doing this technique because it's super easy and you don't need tape, you don't need a concealer. It's just less fuss and more just get your shadow on and go, but still look like you put effort in. Okay, so now I'm going in with the darkest brown, which is Chins, and I'm taking a different M433. I don't need a lot of this product, so just make sure you're tapping your brush off. Now, what I'm going to do that's different is that I'm going to actually line this up where the edge is, press, and flick. So most of the color is being deposited right on the edge of that wing. And then you're just going to kind of finesse the rest of the shadow onto your lid and into the crease. I'm not going to bring this super far in. I just really want to have like that, like a heavier smoky outer edge. So I'm just going back in to darken up this edge a little bit. So does anybody here still watch MTV and still watch The Challenge? It is one of my favorite shows. I am like obsessed with reality TV, so I still watch a lot of MTV, and I'm so excited because they're bringing True Life back, and I absolutely love that show. It just fascinates me, so I'm so excited to see that coming back. I'm just taking a brush and just blending this out. But has anyone seen the drama with Pauly, Cara, and then Pauly's ex, Danielle, from Bachelor and Bachelor in Paradise? What are your thoughts on that? Because I really wanted to like Pauly, but you could just tell like he's just an opportunist. And I really want Cara to be happy because she's like one of my favorite challengers. And yeah, it looks like he just ain't it. So I guess we'll see what happens. But now I'm just going in with that matte cream color. Again, I'm using a blending brush because I don't want it to be super harsh or anything. So I'm just holding this, again, almost perpendicular, and just lightly dusting the edges to give a very nice subtle blend. And speaking of reality TV, who is watching All Stars for Drag Race? Because I am so entertained. I'm a little bit behind though because I haven't been watching Drag Race for a super long time. I didn't really know much about it until like the last couple of years. So it's cool for me to see these queens that are from like the first season so I can get to know them. I absolutely am loving Manila and Latrice. I think that they're both great. I hope they stick around for a while. I think most people can agree that Gia is quite obnoxious. And of course, I love Monet Exchange. Like, she is my girl. I'm rooting for her. I hope she can, like, you know, turn it out. I'm excited because I feel like there's a lot of potential and I just want to see what she can give. So I'm just taking that first light shade that we used and I'm just going to go ahead and use this on the lid as a base and to kind of clean up. I just feel like there's so many diva personalities on this season too, like Valentina and Trinity, and it's just so interesting just watching them all interact with each other. I feel like they're doing a good job of playing nice for now, which, by the way, if you're watching this video, I just watched the third episode. The third episode is the most recent, so that's kind of where we're at. I think that that's slowly going to start to fade away here within the next episode, and I kind of think like the claws are going to be coming out a little bit more besides Gia. So let me know your thoughts on All Stars so far. Who can you see in the top 3 or top 4? Let me know your picks. And now we're gonna get to the fun part. So I am just taking Try Me, which is this red color. And I'm just going to lightly dust this right up through here. I don't want it to be super red, so I'm not really putting a lot on. A little of this glitter goes a long way, and the best way to apply it is with your finger. Now I'm taking a moment, or what is this, Just a Kiss. I'm taking Just a Kiss now and putting this on top. I'm obsessed with this color. I feel like I'm gonna be hitting pan on it soon, which makes me really sad. And this one, I am not being shy with. I'm going to pile it on, and putting this on top of that red just takes it from like a cranberry to like a soft pink, which I think is super, super gorgeous and nice and subtle for the holiday season. So this is about as glittery and sparkly as we're going to get for New Year's Eve, and I absolutely love it. Alright, foundation today is a Clinique Even Better. Absolutely love this. Feel like I'm going to be running out of it soon. But there are going to be some changes coming to my channel. In case I don't know if you noticed or not. I'm sure a lot of you watching are new to my channel, so hello, welcome. But I haven't been consistent. I feel like I've really been just struggling this month with getting content out. There's just been a lot of uncertainty when it comes to my life. So I've just been kind of not in a good place to just really sit down, film, be happy and energetic. So with that, there is some news. I am moving again. So if you have been a subscriber of mine, you know I've been kind of all over the place. Like the last 3 years, I haven't really been anywhere like consistent. But we are moving back to Arizona. So we were living in Arizona for about 3 years, and this past year is kind of where we've moved all over the place. So there hasn't been much stability as far as like our living goes. But I'm honestly really excited to be headed back to Arizona. I made a lot of friends when I did live there, so I'm excited to see them again and spend time with them. There's going to be a lot more job opportunity for me. I really struggled to, kind of get a career job while I was back here in Ohio. We lived in Georgia for a while too. Couldn't really find anything there because we lived out in the rural area of Georgia. So I just feel like I won't struggle as much as far as income goes. We are moving for my husband's job, so excited to get out of the cold. Of course, it's going to be really hard because all my family is here in Ohio, so it really sucks having to say goodbye to my parents and my grandparents, but it's just what's going to be best for us. So with that being said, my channel may be a little, off the hinges the next month while we're moving. I'm trying to pre-film as much as I can. So I'm not really missing a lot of uploads because I did take a little break there because we were just so unsure of what was kind of going on in our lives, and then just rushing to find a place and get a place secured because this is just all happening so quickly. So I do have a bunch of decluttering videos that are going to be uploaded soon. I'm going to be doing a makeup collection. I'm going to be doing a beauty room tour once we move and I get that space set up, so I'm excited to share with you. So I guess right now, if you have any requests for any kind of videos, now is the time to leave them in the comments down below, and then I can start working on those towards the end of January once we're completely moved. I'm just not psyched about doing a 3-day drive again. That's probably the worst part of all of this. Speaking of the drive, I may or may not try to vlog while we're in the process of moving. So let me know if you would be interested in that. I'm probably going to get some more vlogs up because the way my channel was running was that I did 2 beauty videos and then a weekly vlog. So I'm going to see what I can keep up with Even though I have dry skin, I hate the feeling of tacky foundation or tacky anything on my face. So I'm just going over with a light layer of translucent powder. And then I'm going to use a different setting powder because the next setting powder is really going to help it last all night through the New Year's party. Before I go in with my second setting powder, I like to go in with a wee bit of highlight, and I just hit pan on this. Oh my god. Okay, so this is a Glazed Donut Highlight by Oprah. I'm getting most of this off because it's pretty powerful. So what I'm going to do is just highlight my brow bone. Another reason why I don't like to fill in my brows because of this. So this is just going to add like a nice, you know, pop to the actual brow bone, and then just have a little bit of highlight right above our eyebrow. But because I don't want it to be super intense, covering it up with this second powder is really going to help a lot and tone it down so it's not so like blinding. Don't get me wrong, I do love me a blinding highlight, but just not right on my forehead. So the second powder I'm using is this Laura Mercier, and I'm mainly using it because I have it and I'm just trying to use products up. That will be explained a little bit more in my decluttering video. So I am just going to put a nice layer of this onto my skin. This will really set and lock the base in, and it won't, I mean the RCMA doesn't have flashback, but if you did have a translucent powder that does have flashback, putting another powder like this on top will help eliminate that factor. So what are you guys most excited for in 2019? I'm just like really excited and hopeful for my future. I feel like I learned a lot this year. I really dived into a lot of self-care, which could be like another get ready with me video talking about that if you're interested. And I just really learned this year that I gotta put myself first and fix myself before I can really be there for other people and to, you know, make myself happy. Now, I also have a thing with setting sprays, and I have a process again because I have so many I'm trying to use up. I really like the Urban Decay All Nighter, but this is the chill setting spray. It's supposed to be a little more hydrating. This is a more, I guess you could say, like mattifying, like really going to dry down setting spray. Whereas the other two that I have are more on the dewy side, and they just will help melt the powders. This will really help lock in the foundation and concealer. For contour, I love the shade Sculpt in my Tarte Pro Glow palette. For nose contour, I go in with the Luxie 207. And I kind of stipple it on because I do have dry, finicky skin. So if I were to actually, you know, go like this, it would totally disrupt the foundation that I have underneath. And that is not a good time. What was your favorite eyeshadow palette of 2018? I definitely have to say mine is the one I'm using in the video today, the Desi and Katie Dose of Colors collab. They killed it. I'm trying so hard to be good and do like a no buy for this next year because I do have a lot of products, and as I can see in my decluttering, I have a lot of products sitting on the floor right now that I'm getting rid of that I just kind of bought because I felt like everybody was talking about it, so I needed to get it, I needed to try it, I needed to review it for myself for my channel. So I'm going to kind of be on a no buy and just buy like on an as needed basis. And I'm pretty good at doing that with face products, but I am a sucker when it comes to eyeshadow palettes. I have more eyeshadow palettes than I know what to do with, and that's not okay. This is Exposed Blush by Tarte. I love a good muted blush. And I'm also really excited about going to Arizona and going and hiking and just exploring that aspect of it more because we didn't really get the chance to when we first lived there because I had just started a job, my husband was in school and working, so we didn't really have a lot of time. But luckily with his schedule now, he has a week on, a week off. So no matter what my schedule is, we can make sure that we are finding time to get out and explore more. I definitely want to get out there and get hiking around in some national parks. I want to visit California some more. We absolutely love going to Vegas. It's so simple. It's a 30-minute flight. Before I sound like all like wild about talking about my struggles with not having employment and then talking about traveling a lot, my husband works in the airline industry, so we're very lucky that we do get travel benefits, aka we get to fly for free. Hoping we'll actually be able to do our honeymoon this year. We're about to hit our 3-year wedding anniversary on the 15th of January, and we have yet to have time, or you know, mostly vacation time available to go on our honeymoon. So I'm really hoping that this year we can make it happen. And I'm taking Mirame from the First Dose of Colors Katie collab, and I just apply that with a Luxie 522 on the apples of my cheek for a nice little glow, because I'm not a huge blush person. Now what I'm going to do is take my Vicks Plus, this is very wet, so fan is perfect for this setting spray. This setting spray is definitely going to leave you more dewy, so that's the second one that I like to go in with. We are back and zoomed in for the lower lash line. What I'm going to do is take a combo of these two, mostly this one, a little bit of this guy, and I'm using a small fluffy brush. This came in an Urban Decay palette, but just for comparison reasons, you can see how much smaller and more narrow it is than a typical blending brush. And what I like to do is really blow out my lower lash line, so I kind of squint my eye a little bit like this, so I can kind of see and follow the natural contour of my eyeball. I know that sounds weird, but that's just what I use as a guide. And then I'm just going to fill and blend the rest of this in. Now I'm going in with another flat brush. This is a Morphe M432, and I'm taking that darkest brown in the palette that we used last, and I'm really just gonna stamp and wiggle this right up against my lash line. Now taking an E36, I'm going to take the matte cranberry shade in here called Girl Bye, and I'm going to blend. So I'm holding this almost perpendicular again, make sure I'm not blocking with my mirror, and then I'm just going to get right up to my lash line and blend that dark brown out. And I get all the way up into the inner corner. This is just going to add a nice little pop of color since it's the holidays, red. Also, let me know when you're watching a Chit Chatty Get Ready with me, do you like knowing what products are being used? Do you want a step-by-step of me telling me what I'm doing? Or would you just prefer if I shut up and just do my makeup and not explain anything and just talk to you? So please let me know in the comments, because obviously I want to, you know, produce content that you enjoy watching. So let me know. And this is what we are left with. Alrighty, so last thing that I do is take my Morphe setting spray, because this is like slightly hydrating, but it's not going to leave your skin as tacky and dewy as Fix Plus. I actually messed my order up. Normally I do the Vicks Plus before I do the highlight, so the highlight has something tacky to stick onto, and then I kind of melt everything together as a final step with this. But you know, as per usual, I'm not with it when I'm filming, so I just outline my lips really fast with this Model Co lip pencil, and now I'm moving on to No Shade. Keeping that mostly in the center, I don't need a lot of it. And to top, I'm going to use the Most by Dose of Color. This is really pretty. It has like a red, blue-green iridescence to it. I scrape most of the product off because you really don't need a lot. And there we go, a nice subtle nude lip that you don't have to worry about messing up with your drink or food, or, you know, with kissing. Maybe a little slight tackiness if you decide to go with a gloss. But make sure that you are safe this New Year's. There's honestly no excuse anymore for drinking and driving. We have plenty of ride sharing apps, so you know, there's really no excuses for DUIs nowadays. And if you are at a party, drinking at a bar, at someone's house, make sure to keep an eye on your drink. You don't want anything to happen to you. And I hope you guys course, I'm trying to say goodbye and her butt is straight up like right in your face. I hope you enjoyed this chit chat get ready with me video. Don't forget to subscribe before you head out and leave any requests that you have down below. I would love to hear from you. And I'm excited for 2019. I hope you are too, and I will see you next time. Bye everyone.